Hiya, Amy. Yeah.
Hey.
Hello. I'll turn off my video, guys, okay, because of the internet. What am I doing?
Hi.
Hey, Amy.
Hello.
How's the
Good,
ankle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's the leg. Yeah.
Don't think about
Yeah.
it. Right. Yeah. I just turn off my video because the internet's pretty bad down here, so it's can do one or the other.
Just gonna shut the door.
Yeah. Okay. Sinead's coming in. Hi, Sinead.
Hi, Sinead.
We give it 5 minutes and then we start, Amanda.
Sure, yeah, whatever you want to do, I don't
cool.
mind.
Yeah.
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 Oh, there's Sarah too.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how's everyone?
Good.
Cold.
Cold, yeah.
I had to take the dog out when I got back there. The wind has definitely got worse since we were running, Sarah.
It's icy, it's real icy.
Oh, awful.
What's the temperature like now?
I don't know.
Oh, I think it says feels like 4
Oh, lovely.
with the wind.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, feels like 3. There we go.
yeah. Even
It's the
better.
wind though. It was just this proper icy feeling to it.
Yeah.
Saturday was really, really, really cold. It was 1 to 2 degrees or something. And my
Yeah.
hands were paining me so much. They didn't heat up for the whole run. They were
Yeah.
paining me so much I was nearly close to tears. But I tried plastic gloves underneath the wool gloves today and that worked.
Oh.
Oh.
Do you know, you like your disposable plastic?
Yeah.
The hands
Rubber.
kind of sweat underneath them, which is
Yeah.
perfect for me. Yeah. And then just throw them out and you finish with them.
Yeah.
Mm,
That worked.
good plan.
Yeah. You wouldn't know what to be wearing though.
No.
No.
It's my biggest dilemma at the moment.
Yeah, Sarah, yeah.
Oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, are you going to wear long sleeves or short, do you
Yeah,
think?
I think long sleeves with the vest
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
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 I'm gonna have a layer on underneath.
Yeah. Mm.
When are you expecting, guys? Do you know?
We don't know, actually. And
No.
it's now 2034. Give
Yeah,
another
there's a
minute.
couple who are going home to put kids to bed and put some headphones in. But do you know what? Just go ahead. We're recording, so
Okay.
they'll join when they can, I think.
Yeah, okay, no worries. So I suppose not everybody, Ali, you've done obviously your marathon and your 2 marathons, and so for Amy, Sinead, Jen, you're there, and Sarah, this is your first long or long distance race, sorry, not middle distance, long distance official race. Is that fair to say?
Endurance.
Yeah.
Endurance
Okay,
race.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now, I'd imagine you're feeling anxiety, you're feigning every single injury that you can possibly think of, and that's normal. Your body has a reaction to, it's called pre-race nerves, and things that are happening that aren't happening, you think they're happening. So, and that's not to say that you could possibly have a slight niggle somewhere, but possibly won't worry you on the day whatsoever. Okay, so anything that gets into your head that, oh, I shouldn't do it because of this or shouldn't do it because of that, because my ankle hurts or my hip hurts or my knee hurts, honestly, it is the mind playing tricks on you. So park all of those worries and concerns aside for now, unless you really feel that there's some swelling somewhere, there's some bruising somewhere. That's different. You need to get that checked out and make a decision. But knowing what it's like coming up to half marathon and marathon distance races, or indeed, you know, anywhere between a 10 miler and the marathon distance, it is, your brain takes over, and it doesn't make life pleasant for you in the run up to a longer run like this, especially under race conditions. So the week that's in it now, you're at Wednesday. So if you haven't been taking on water, you need to be taking on 1.5 liters of water per day up to Friday. Okay. So even if it's tonight, it's not a great time of the day to be taking on 1.5 liters of water. But what you've got to do is get enough fluid into the muscles. Okay, that's really important, the tendons in particular. So 1.5 liters of water a day. Good woman, Jen. On Friday, take it down. That's exactly it, Sinead. Well done.
Sinead.
On Friday.
Sinead's like, oh shit.
Yeah, get it into you. On Friday, take it down to probably 1 liter. Don't go over the liter on Friday, because what you don't want to be doing is being up all night Friday night, in and out of the bathroom. Okay, now you're going to do it anyway, so there's no point me lying to you. Nerves are going to get the better of you on Friday night. You'll be like Piddle and Pete all night long, and that's okay. You need to get your best sleep on Thursday night, not Friday night. Okay, so Thursday night is your night. You have your bath, if you have a bath. Unfortunately, I don't have one.
No.
So yeah, exactly. If not, what I recommend you do, if you don't have a bath, is get to either Tobin's or Life Pharmacy and get yourself a tube of Epsom salt gel. It's the same thing as having an Epsom salt bath. It's really, really good. It relaxes the muscles. Get that onto the especially the calves. And yeah, exactly, that's it, Ali. So you want to get that onto the quads, and you want to get it onto the calves before going to bed. It'll help relax the muscles down. If you do have a bath, Epsom salts bath on Thursday night, nice warm cozy PJs, maybe some warm milk or something like that before, chocolate milk before going to bed, and try get the best night's sleep you can Thursday. Friday, you're going to be tossing and turning. Don't worry about it. It's just the adrenaline in the body starting to rise, and that's good, because it's what you need for Saturday morning. So don't worry about not sleeping and going, I'm going to be shattered halfway through the race. It doesn't happen. The body takes over. Okay. So that's Thursday. Friday, you want to be, so you're carb loading this week, but don't over carb load either, because it is a half marathon and you don't need as much fuel as you would for full marathon. But what you should be eating this week up to Friday is a mix of your fruits, your veg, your carbs, your seeds, your nuts, that type of thing. On Friday, do not have any protein on Friday. And if you do, have it early in the day. Your body has difficulty digesting protein, and that can cause bloatedness, which is not where you want to be running a half marathon on Saturday morning, okay? So your body spends energy digesting protein. You want to save your energy and conserve your energy for your race. So if you're going to have protein on Friday, have it for breakfast, eggs, bacon, something like that, okay? And it's good to have bacon, something salty the day before as well, because you lose sodium through sweat. So anything like that, if you can, something salty on Friday is good as well, okay? So for dinner Friday, what I do, and this is just my routine, so I drink up to 1.5 liters to 2 liters of water a day in the 5 days leading up to a race. On the Thursday, I do, as I just said, I have some warm chocolate milk, go to bed, put on my Epsom salts gel, technically listen to music going to bed rather than TV, put the phone away for at least 2 hours beforehand to get away from the blue screen, go to bed on the Thursday night or the 2 nights prior to a race. The night before the race, I will have pasta, and I use the fresh pasta. I don't use the hard stuff, so I always buy fresh pasta, and I literally just put in a tiny little bit of pesto and I mix it up, and that's all I have, with a slice of garlic bread and my liter of water, and that's my last intake of fluid on the Friday or the Saturday before a race, depending. Okay, on the race day morning, you need to eat 2 hours before the race. Okay, do not eat any later than that. So my routine would be, I get up, if the race is at 10, you obviously you've got to leave the house, okay? So you've got to take into account what time you need to leave that to get to the start line. So if you're up for 7, half 7, I would recommend porridge. Now, in saying that, don't change the routine that you've been using for the last, 10 weeks training, 12 weeks training. If you have had a routine in your longer runs that's working for you, don't change it. That's the key to this. Do not change anything this week. If you are a porridge eater or a cereal eater, blueberries, which, believe it or not, are high they are a slight protein, but they're very high in vitamin C. They're really good for muscular and development and help repair the muscle afterwards. They also get rid of the heebie-jeebies, as we call them, right? A little bit of lactic acid that floats around in the muscles afterwards. So the more vitamin C you have going into the race, the easier it would be to stop the lactic acid building after the race as well. So if somebody comes up and offers you a punnet of strawberries or a punnet of blueberries after the race, take them with open arms and get them into you, okay? Really helps. So what I would do, I get up 7. I lay all my stuff out the night before, by the way. So just in case you're missing your socks, you can't find your runners, the lace is broken, always have a backup plan there. So get your race number if you've already collected it, pin it onto your whatever top you're wearing. Clontarf in November is frigging freezing, okay? It really is cold. So what you want to do is get out with layers on you. All right. Now, there's going to be enough of us along the route that if you want to throw a top or a jacket at us, whatever, we'll take it. We'll bring it back to the finish line for you. Okay. So don't be worrying about that. Where people are going to be positioned yet, I don't know, but there will be enough of us along the way. Right. But if you bring a light wind cheater that you can even wrap around your waist, do that as well. But you want to have a long layer on you. And you want to have your singlet on as well, okay? If you're wearing a club singlet or a club t-shirt, I recommend you wear 2 layers. One light long layer over your arms that you can actually pull up. Like I'm wearing my marathon top right now, so it's a nice light fabric, and a lot of our new stuff. I don't remember which top. I think it's the Mali top. Is light enough in fabric, the long sleeve Mali top. Your t-shirt or your singlet over it. Put your wind cheater on as well. Any type of light jacket, put it on. You can take it off. You can wrap it around your waist. If you are going to wrap it around your waist, wrap it up first, if you know. So wrap the body of the jacket around. So you're actually putting it on like it's a belt. So it's not flapping behind you and catching wind, because Clontarf is windy. You're going to get it one direction or the other. So brave that now, okay? It is. But the one thing about Clontarf, I know I'm making it sound awful, it's a lovely race, because the one thing for me, starting off, it's all along the edge of the Clontarf pathways, along the coastline. When you get down onto the beach, and once you come along the top of the wall over the wooden bridge, it's like a human wall going along the beach. It's actually incredible to see it, and it gives you such a buzz. It's lovely. So you'll enjoy that. So porridge, strawberries, blueberries, or whatever it is that you're having in your last 10, 12 weeks of training. If you haven't really been sticking to a good routine, porridge is the thing. It's a good slow burner. It keeps the body warm inside, and then with the extra bit of fruit, particularly the vitamin C. I would also have what I take is stuff from the US called Liquid IV, but for the want of getting it here, it's Diorolite. So have a Diorolite with your breakfast, okay? If you've been taking gels, what I do is you will take a gel before the race, but you need to take it again a good bit before the race. So what you do is have your breakfast, have your Diorolite along with your breakfast. It's your fluid to help you swallow down the breakfast. Give it a little bit. You probably have a toilet routine, and unfortunately I'm going to have to get into the nitty gritty here, right? What you're hoping for is a visit to the bathroom, okay? To help the body do its own thing, right? Because what you don't want is that cramping mid-race. So hope for, and if you haven't, get Imodium and take an Imodium, right? Trust me. Because the body reacts to half marathon distances. So you got to take into account, it's the first time you've done it, your nerves take over as well. You also have the adrenaline pouring through the body. Your body can react in very different ways. So I can't recommend enough. If it's only half an Imodium or one Imodium, if you can't go to the bathroom before you leave your house, take an Imodium, okay? once you've that bit out of the way, then I recommend if you're taking gels, take your gel before you leave the house. Gives the body time to digest it. If you are taking jellies, do the same thing. So whatever it is you're using as your fuel during your races and your long runs that you've gotten used to doing now, take it before you leave the house. Make sure, obviously, when you pack your bag the night before, that you have the number of gels or jellies or whatever that you're taking. I strongly recommend you take a gel at 5 miles and you take a gel at 10 miles, even though you might not need it. The gel will not kick in, or your jellies won't kick in for at least a half a mile. It takes the body that time to digest it and take it in and for it to be absorbed into the bloodstream to give you back that boost of energy. So you will be taking 2 bouts of food, if you like, whether it be a gel or a jelly or whatever else you are using during your race time, okay? Always carry a bottle of water with you the whole way through the race. So when they give you, I think the first bottles, if I'm not mistaken, that in the Clontarf is just after when you come off the beach. The first tray or first table of bottles is there. Take that bottle. I would also recommend, you should get to, I think it's about 4 miles. If you're used to drinking all the way through your runs, carry a small bottle of the little 250 mils with you. Throw it at the side. Take on another one when you get to the first table. I think the next one after that is near the halfway point. I'm trying to remember myself now where they are. But either way, every time they offer you water, take the water. And you just sip it, sip it, sip it. Don't knock the whole bottle of water down in one go because it puts pressure on the bladder too quickly. So you just want to keep sipping all the way through, okay? What else can I think of? When you get to the start line, it's very easy with the people behind you to push you forward. It is a very narrow start, by the way. It's just across the road from the yacht. So it's on, if you know Clontarf at all, you've got the whole pathways along there. So it is quite a narrow path. There's people, you're trying to get out and around people, and there's people shoving in and out, and they're swerving in and out. Don't waste your energy swerving in and out of people because you'll burn too quickly. So what you want to do is sit back, relax into the first 3 miles. Don't push. When you're ready, when your body is ready, it'll know itself. But swerving in and out of people is not a good idea. Some of the grass can be quite slippy down on Clontarf as well. So if you do have to overtake people, the pathway's not wide enough. You have to go out onto the grass, which you can lose your footing, hurt your ankles. So my recommendation is just take it handy till you get down onto the beach, because once you're on the beach, you've all the space in the world to overtake and do what you want. Coming down onto, so again, don't get carried away at the start. It's very easy to get involved, get pushed along by people behind you. Hold your ground. And if you're not going fast enough for people, stop them. Let them go around you. Don't get pushed. Don't get carried away. Okay. If you have an idea of going out with a pacer, stay behind the pacer. And again, don't get carried away. The pacers know exactly what they're doing, and they're pretty good. And I think, I'm not sure what the pacers are there. I know there's a 145, 130, 115, 130, 145 too. I'm not sure. There's a 215, I think, and a 230. After that, I'm not quite sure if there's any more pacers there. They're pretty good. These guys know what they're doing. So trust in them. If you have a time set in mind, try to stick with somebody you do know in the beginning. When you're ready to go, you want to push, make that agreement before the race. It's everybody's own race. You're not running for anybody else, only yourself. Okay, so it's your day, your race. You can't be somebody else. You can only be yourself, and that's important to stick to your own plan. Clontarf can get very windy. Don't let us dishearten you, because if you have direction in one wind, you won't have it in the other. So if you have it going down to the halfway point, it's behind you on the way back. If it's with you on the way out, don't get carried away. Don't let the wind push you too hard, because you're facing into it on the way back. And it doesn't matter if you do the first half faster than the second half, or the second half faster than the first half. It makes no difference. The finish line is still the finish line, and it is a finish line, not a finish time. So don't stress. You're going to go out, you want to enjoy it, have a bit of crack, have the chats on the way, and just the camaraderie on the day in any of these type of races is absolutely great. You have a good giggle. There's great support in Clontarf. Anytime I've done it, it's been great. I've enjoyed it. I've had two different experiences of it. My very, very, very first half marathon, when there was no adults in the club apart from the coaches, was my first race. And don't ask me what year it was. I can't even remember. But yeah, I was the only one running that level of distance at the time, believe it or not, because it was only, well, many of us, Jen, Jesus, were in the club then, very few of us, right? And apart from Donal, there was nobody else doing long distance, I don't think. But anyway, is there anything else afterwards? I suppose, so post-race, get something warm into you. Wrap back up very quickly, okay, because you'll get cold extremely quickly. If you have taken gloves and things like that off you during the race, you can tuck them into your back of your leggings. That's what I normally do. I don't throw my gloves away because I wear good running Nike good running gloves, so I tuck them into the back of my leggings, and underneath my top it works. But yeah, get the gloves back on you, get the heat back into you. So make sure you've got a warm jacket at the drop-off point that you can put on straight after the race, because you'll get cold very, very quickly. When you get to, if you're going to the yacht, I'd recommend you order some soup to get some because your body will get cold very quickly. November is a tough time to run a half marathon. But yeah, look, you'll be fine. You get over it very quickly. Plenty of stretching and plenty of water. My recommendation to bring in your kit bag for the day is chocolate protein milk. Get it into you straight away. Protein is needed for the repair of the muscles. And the chocolate is easier to drink. And plus the fact chocolate is sweet, it's nice, and it's full of serotonin. You can get it, it doesn't matter if it's the Yazoo Kids stuff or whether it's the Kinetic that you can get in SuperValu, depending what they have. Just grab a chocolate protein milk and bring that with you. Have that in your drop-off bag as well, and drink it as quick as you possibly can afterwards. Help repair the muscle immediately. Lots of stretching. You'll be on a high, you'll forget to stretch. Trust me, you'll pay for it later. So get on your high, give yourselves your high fives, everything that you do, and just take 5 minutes, 6 minutes out, whatever it might be, 10 minutes, whatever you need together. And you've got two coaches there in the day, Jen and Ali. They're well able and know exactly what stretches need to be done. But trust me, stretch out, particularly you'll feel it in your quads the next day. Stairs are the biggest issue you're going to find the following day. Going up is okay, coming down is torture. So you might be bumming down the stairs for a day or two, right? And the day after is worse, by the way, yeah? But it does get better and does get easier. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I mean, it's all about enjoyment. That's what you want to do. Like, it's a huge step. And I mean, already congratulations going from couch to 5K to 21.1. It's an amazing journey that you guys have been on for the last few months. I've just been watching, you know, honest to God, looking at the stuff coming through in Strava. I'm like, oh my God, somebody mentioned something about Clontarf. I encourage a load of you to do it. I signed up to do it with you, but I'm badly injured since the marathon. I've not that I've no motivation. It's the wrong thing to say. I had a bad injury in July and I got through the marathon, but even going out last night for intervals, I'm in agony today. And it's just where I put the pain away for the 20 weeks of training. Now it's starting to really bother me. So now I've got to go back to physio. So I knew running Clontarf was the wrong thing, but by God, will I be there screaming at you on Saturday? That's for sure. Okay. I don't know. Is there anything else anybody wants to ask me? Shout.
Just one thing, leaving Donabate, what time would you recommend to get there at? Because it's a 15-20 minute walk from the car park.
Yeah, you're parking in
You
East
know,
Point.
you want to warm up, drop off bags. They're kind of saying to leave your stuff in the car, but you're probably better off having it there to be able to put the stuff back on quick, isn't it?
No, absolutely not. Use the bag drop. 100%. Cold, guys. It's cold. Look, just to go back to Lairs, as I said, you know, I can't show you what this is like. Ali has hers. She knows what it's like. I'm trying to think. I think it's one of our tops is really, really heavy, and I barely wear it around the house. It's that thick. Then we have, is it the 10 mile that we have? Is the LSA 10 top, our 10 mile 10 year anniversary.
10-year anniversary. Yeah,
it's the other one. I think it's the Mali top that's lighter of the two. Anyway, if you don't have an LSA top to wear, it doesn't matter. Wear any top. An Under Armour top are the best, to be honest with you, actually underneath. Then wear your LSA t-shirt over it, okay? And then, as I said, a wind cheater. But just when you're going over the start line, make sure your wind cheater is open so your chip is visible going over the mat, okay? So it picks up. The last thing you want to do is run a half marathon and not get a time for it. That would be just
Devastating.
devastating, absolutely. And there's no Lewis's in Clontarf, so we're safe that nobody's going to jump in the Lewis either, so that's all right. And if nobody knows what I'm doing, I'm sure you know the reference to the guy with the marathon, right?
Yeah.
Jump with Lewis.
Guard. The guard, yeah.
The guard, yeah. The
Special
anti-corruption guard.
Yeah, anti-corruption. Yeah.
Anyway, he'll never run a race again in Ireland. But yeah, so you want to be able to peel off your layers where if you haven't got earmuffs, your head's going to get hot. I know that sounds stupid, but it will. So I recommend, like Amy, you have a lovely band over your head at the moment. That's what I recommend. I wear earmuffs because you taking off a hat, taking off gloves, taking off wind cheaters, which you're going to, because you're going to get hot. You don't want to be carrying all this baggage around with you, right? So wear a kind of headband that covers your ears would be my recommendation, as opposed to a hat, because your head gets too hot. And if you have any type of long hair whatsoever, because it is breezy in Clontarf, if it gets loose in any way, it drives you nuts and you end up eating it and all sorts of stuff. So make sure your hair is really clipped back well and tight. But yeah, that's for the Jen, sorry, to go back to your question, it starts at 10, right? It's a 20-minute walk from East Point. Now, if you're going to be carrying your drop-off baggage, I was going to suggest that you do your warm-up from East Point, but it's very difficult if you're carrying protein, milk and an extra jacket or whatever else, and a water, whatever else you want to bring with you. You wouldn't be able to. So I would suggest you leave Donabate for 8:30, because getting to Clontarf is a pain in the neck. Now, you'd rather be there for 9, drop the car off. You know, you want to do a good dynamic warm-up. So you'd want to be doing at least, let's say, 2 by 800 meters with some strides in between, some kickbacks, some high steps, all that kind of. It's no different than you would do yourself, Jen and Ali, when you're coaching during the week. Really warm the body up, and then, do that after you've dropped your bag, so you can go back down towards East Point, down the Alfieburn Road. There'll be plenty of space on the Alfieburn Road to do a decent warm up, and Clontarf Road train station car park is only up the road as well. Or you can cross over the road and go up Hollybrook Road or Hollybrook Avenue beside the left of the Garda station. When you stand looking, it'll be the left. You can go up, there's a laneway up there as well. So there's plenty of spaces you can go to do a decent warm up as well. So I would, leave it about 8:30. Hopefully you'll get there for 9, even if so that give you time enough. Park the car, walk down, get your bags in, and then go do your warm up and just keep warm. If it's a case of that extra layer, bring a black sack. Cut the top off the black sack, and literally that's it. Just put it over you. You don't need to leave your arms out. It doesn't matter. You just whip it off at the last minute and off you pop. So I'm not sure there's much else I could tell you guys. Any questions that you might have?
You were saying
covered?
The course itself, getting off the beach, there were steps up or something like that.
Sorry, Jen. Okay. So the 2 times, the first time I did it, it's pretty much the same course, but it depends if it's flooded, okay? Because Dollymount, so you start the yacht pretty much, you go all the way down the pathways, you turn right onto the wooden bridge, you go over the wooden bridge. Sometimes they bring you down off that roadway, straight down onto the beach. If that's flooded, they'll keep you coming along. It's kind of, you know where the statue of Mary is? I think it's Mary, anyway, at the end of the runway there, if anybody knows that, the Dollymount beach, okay? The statue, it's up really high. It's like a concrete kind of walkway. There's steps down off that. So the second year I did Clontarf, we had to come down the steps. So it's quite congested. Don't rush. Don't worry about it. If it takes a couple of seconds off your time, so be it. I mean, are you out? You're out to get a PB, because it is your first half marathon. So it doesn't matter what time you do. It's a PB, right? So don't worry about times. Just be careful on those steps. I fell year 1. And cut all the inside of my toenails, but on the way back off the beach. So you run the beach and it's compacted sand, so it's no different than running on road. It's actually quite nice under your feet, to be honest with you, so don't worry about that. And as I said, you get such a buzz because when you're up coming down, all you can see is the whole beach. It's rows of people, and usually, funnily, people stay compacted and close together for the heat. So it's like a human wall going up the beach. It's great to look at. When you're coming off the beach at Bull Island there, it gets a bit sandy. So try and find the most compacted area, because the last thing you want to do is run the whole half marathon with sand in your shoes. So just, you know, be careful that you don't fall into that. Then you come up, there's a slight bit of an incline, which is it's not a drag, it's just because you're coming off sand onto tarmac. It kind of sucks the life out of your legs just for a couple of seconds till you get used to being back on solid ground again. Then it's all the way up the causeway, and that's where the first water station is on the causeway. Then you get to the junction of Watermill Road, the causeway, and the Howth Road. You have a right turn there, all the way down to near, you're way past Black Banks, past the Kilbarrack turn. You're almost down near the turn for Baldoyle. It's between the turn for St. Nessans and the turn for where the Elfin pub is, whatever that road is. I think it leads you into Baldoyle anyway, so you're somewhere along that road. When you come along to the junction of Kilbarrack Road, up at Black Bank, where you have Black Banks first, it's very open there, so it gets quite windy. At the Kilbarrack Road junction, you're up really, really high there. So again, you get a crosswind coming off that junction, so just be careful. You go on down, you turn, you come back up. And again, the water station is back on the causeway. There has to be another water station down near the halfway point as well, I think. I just can't remember. So yeah, when you're coming back up off the beach again, if it's not flooded, they'll probably bring you up just off the sand, back up near Royal Dublin Golf Club. Or if it is flooded, they bring you back up the same steps you came down the first time. Take your time going up those steps. Once you're up the top, then you're home free. You've got your last 3 miles to go, and that's it. It is a nice race. As I said, you'll enjoy it. You really will enjoy it. And it's such a sense of achievement when you cross that finish line. It's undescribable. You really will be on cloud 9. And that's the moment you want to savor. Then they put your medal around your neck and listen, lads, you're going to love it. Absolutely love it. And then you'll be all buzzing for the next one. So
Or never
go out
again.
and listen,
I
never
don't
say
believe
never.
you.
I've said that after 2 marathons, never, and I'll still say never yeah. So but yeah, the half is a lovely distance. I'm going to drop back now to probably doing halves more so than I can't see myself doing another marathon, so I'll be back doing halves again. They're a lovely distance. What seems like a mountain for you guys at the moment, it's not at all. And once you get over the finish line of your first one, you're buzzing to do your next one. Trust me. You'll really enjoy it.
Cool.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah,
No
great.
problem.
Thank you.
Anybody, anything else they want to ask me or pick brains or anything like that? No?
No, but I
I
want
was just thinking about the parking situation. Can you park at the train station in Clontarf, or would that be a bad idea?
You could. If I'm not sure if it's paid parking. I know Malahide train station is a $5 a day. Here is a $5
Yeah.
a day. It's
No,
$4.50. So you'd have to
Clontarf
pay for the
It's
parking.
much closer, isn't it?
Mm,
So
mm.
it would
Yeah,
be
it's only
worth
across
the
the road.
$5 to
Yeah.
park there, I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't know where. I know myself and Fintan are traveling over together, and what we're going to do is we're going to run the route, but we're going to not do the beach part. So we're going to try get from the start. I'll be at the start line for you to wave you off. We're going to try make it to the junction of the causeway and Watermill Road if we can. And then we'll try get down to the Kilbarrack Road, and then we'll come back to the causeway, and then we try go back to the finish line to be there for you at the finish as well, as best we can, right? I'm not making any promises, so, but we'll catch you along the route, don't be worried. But that's what we're going to try and do, the two of us, okay? And I know Paudie's out there, but he's injured. But you have a couple of good experiences, people. Stefan Buick, who just ran a 4-hour marathon. He is running on Saturday, and he said he's probably going to run with you guys because he has no idea why did he even bother signing up for Clontarf, because we're all shattered after the marathon. So, and hasn't passed his number on. So there's great LSA experience on the course as well. And those of us along the route too. Emer's pacing, Emer Caulfield, Dino's pacing. So there's, you have enough LSAers that you'll spot along the route. And if there's anything anybody needs, roar, shout at us. We'll do our best to get what you need as you're going. As I said, throw jackets at us, hats, scarves, Just don't throw your shoes at me. But yeah, I would. No, Clontarf it's probably the best option. It is closer. You know, and for fibre, as you said, Sinead, it's a no-brainer. So that's it. Hope that's a bit helpful.
Hi, Amanda.
Oh,
I had one question, if you didn't mind, Amanda.
Yeah, of course, Cathal.
I had been sick recently, so I missed the last long run where I had intended to use a gel for the first time. Now, I was always told don't do something for the first time on race day. But the last time I ran 18K, I did feel like I was running out of power, you know, fairly, you know, after an hour and a bit's running. So I do think I need something. Now, I have bought gels, but I'm reluctant to try. Now, I might try them tomorrow on a short run. I don't know if that's a good idea either, but I'm just wondering what advice you'd have. Would you say stick to something I know more, like, you know,
100%.
sweet jellies rather, or use a gel?
Yeah.
And just
I want to know, what type of gels did you buy, Cathal, out of
I
curiosity?
bought the Aptonia ones in Decathlon because Debbie, who also runs with us, has been using them and said they were very easy on her stomach. She takes them after sort of 10 miles over a period of time. She doesn't take it all in one go, but she said she found them great. So I wanted to use somebody's experience rather than try something.
Yeah.
No,
No, do not try it on the day. The one thing about the gels, what you have to remember with the gel doesn't kick in for at least a half a mile. Okay. So you need to be taking your gel long before you're feeling the tiredness or feeling the burn. And that's why I said, take one at 5 and one at 10. All right. You're not tired at 5 miles. You've done your training up to your 20K. So you're kind of saying, why do I need to take a gel at 5 miles? Trust me, when you get to 9 miles and you haven't taken on a gel, you've got to remember you have another good number of miles to go. Yeah. So it does start to eat into you big time. For the marathon, I took a gel 5, 10, 15, 20, and I hit the wall at 22. And I had to take on another gel, much to my disappointment, because I couldn't stomach any more of them at that stage. And I had one that morning as well. But I had no choice in the matter. My pins and needles in my head. I felt dizzy at the 22nd mile. I actually had to jet for a mile and a half in the marathon. It is what it is. But getting pins and needles in your head scared the crap out of me. So, and I was just before Roebuck Hill, which gave me the excuse to walk up the hill, but that's besides the point. But once I got the gel and my liquid IV into me, from the 23rd mile, I was able to get back into my canter, as I call it. I was able to get in, and that was simply it. You get your mojo back again. So taking the gels on board before the body starts feeling tired or feeling like you're running out of steam, that's why you take them early. So Cathal, my recommendation, if you're used to eating jelly babies, cola bottles, anything like that, if it's glucose sweets, nothing hard boiled in case you swallow it, by the way, okay? Because it's easier if you're running, that is something like a glucose sweet could slip down, but you can get glucose chewies. Something along those lines. Do not try a gel on the day, because there are gels on the market that can actually run through you, literally, just as you take them. You don't want to experience that. They can be hard on the stomach, and they're very, very high in sugar. Some of them, the ones I use are plant-based. They're chia. Yeah. Jennifer has been using them. I recommended them to her, and I never looked back since I switched to them.
No, I haven't tried these before. Regrettably, I am familiar with cola bottles and jelly babies over years of practice, so yep. I know I could stomach them, but I didn't know what the equivalent of a gel pack would be in taking like a packet of jellies. I don't want to take 20 jelly babies or 2, so I wouldn't even know what to have in the middle of a race.
Oh, just a handful, Carl. Yeah. If you've got it, like if you think of a bag of like cola bottles, a big bag or about that or that, a good fistful of them.
Yeah.
Or what you could also
I think I could try that. I think I could try that.
Yeah, I know. If you're anything like me, easy do it. Two of the girls that I trained with seriously for the marathon, they're in my intermediate group, and one of them just had jellies the whole way through until the 20-mile mark. She took on one gel, and then the other was just jellies the whole way, because they just can't stomach the gels and make them really sick. But like that, one of the other guys in the advanced group recommended the Huma gels to me. When I switched, I never looked back. But the high 5 things I was taking for the Belfast Marathon last year, I could not stomach them for love nor money. They were disgusting. But I didn't know any better at the time. I can't do it, Amy. I can't do them at all.
They're very sweet, aren't they?
Yeah, very
I kind
sweet.
of taken, I was like, well, I just, yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. With
Amanda, the way you said you take one at the start before you leave the house, I've not been doing that for the long runs. So would it be all right to do that, even though,
yeah, so long as your body, so long as you've been taking them while training and you're not throwing up or they're not running through you, go for it. It's getting the sustenance, because as I said, what you're trying to do is bank carbohydrate, but you don't want an overload of carbs that are heavy carbs. Like, you don't want to be eating 5 slices of brown toast before you go out covered in peanut butter, right? A lot of people will have a banana. I can't do bananas. It amazes me when I watched people in the marathon eating bunches of the bananas, and I'm like, how in the name of God are you doing that? I just couldn't even possibly look at a banana. But again, they're great for energy source if you can do it. A banana is another option, Cathal. If you can get a banana into you at like 6 miles, do it. Absolutely. You should be fine with a banana. The fructose in the banana will act just like a gel will do for you. And I've seen people eating mini Mars bars. Again, it's, if it works, that's fine. And a mini Mars bar or something like that, again, they're high sugar content, but they're nothing that's going to really upset the body too much. It's the gels come with particular type of sodium. They come with very, very high sugar content, refined sugar. That's what upsets the body. As where a Mars bar or a Snickers bar or anything like that, the mini ones, they're easy to for the body to digest. It's the gel that can run through you would be my concern for you. But a banana is the best option if you can get a banana.
No, that's great. No, I always have bananas before I go out and run, so I already have banana in me before I go. So I might try the jelly bean then on the run. Then I think that's what I.
Yeah, and no problem at all, Cathal. What you could also do is, instead of taking chunks of the things, when I did my second Clontarf marathon, I only used jelly babies actually. I just kept a little plastic bag of them in my shorts pocket, and I just took probably one every 15-20 minutes, 2 at a time. Kept me going.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I've just one question for Cathal. Is that you playing the drums?
It's funny. The reason I was late signing in is because the typical of Zoom, it changed account. I ended up having to sign in with my Facebook account. So that's my Facebook profile. And yes, that is me playing the drums when I had hair many.
Long hair.
Oh my God,
So, things have changed, I'm afraid. I think having children has cost me all the hair on my head. So
I think we're well there, Cathal.
Spotted, yeah. But I won't be eating my hair going around on the course. I won't need a headband.
That's it, you're sorted.
Cool.
Sadly.
Oh, that's great. I'm looking forward to it now, actually.
Oh, you'll love it.
Yeah.
You will love it. Then we'll see what'll happen then is you get the buzz, and then you need medal racks to hang all your medals on and keep going and doing races all the time.
I got one recently.
See, I rest my case. There you go.
I got one about 2-3 years ago, and I just haven't put it up. It's still sitting on the floor.
All my medals are in the side entrance, so we've got a kind of a lean-to down the side entrance. So I couldn't. I'm not going to hang them up in the house, be like a complete another pleb. But so they're all down the side entrance. So my 2 marathon medals take pride of place on that rack. So yeah, but that's where they are. But we had a Zoom call for the DCMers on the 10th of October actually, and there was some people doing their first DCM and others not, and I actually ended up speaking. I was asked to speak on that one as well. From my first one was October last year in Belfast. What was my experience of my first marathon? I'm probably the worst person in the world to ask my experience of my first marathon, because I didn't enjoy Belfast, but not because of the marathon. I just didn't enjoy Belfast. Well, no, I've lost my train of thought now. What was I going to say? Jesus, I can't remember. There's a point to that.
Very hilly, isn't it?
Yeah, it was rotten, I suppose. Well, no, not as hilly as Dublin, Jen.
No?
Dublin is 2-3 times worse.
Gosh, because the
Dublin's
bike.
very hilly.
Yeah, we were on the bikes, and I just felt incredibly hilly.
Very hilly. Dublin's
Belfast.
very, very, very hilly.
Right.
Yeah, I can't remember what I got talking about. Oh, Dino, that's what it was, the medals. So Dino Higgins was on, and he, behind him on the wall of his garage where he was, and I tell you, the whole wall, the full length of the wall was medal after medal after medal after medal. He ran his 120th marathon the Dublin Marathon this year. And he's running another marathon in 3 weeks' time.
Wow.
There you go. So
Wow.
you catch the bug, guys. You'll get there. You'll have walls of medals now. And your kids will be jealous going, no, I don't have any medals. They go, we do.
I noticed that the medals for this half marathon are wood.
That's right,
Are
yeah.
they?
Yeah.
But
environmental
eco-friendly.
one.
Oh, very
I'm
nice.
like, where's my gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even the Dublin City Marathon medal is not gold. I know there's very few of them. My first Clontarf half marathon medal, which was my very, very first running medal as an adult. Probably first running medal because I was a swimmer, not a runner. Is the most basic, disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. It was sponsored by BMW at the time, and it just says, I love BMW on it. I'm like, seriously, what is this manky thing? So I hope your medals, the second Clontarf Marathon medal was much nicer than that one. So you'll get something nice tomorrow. Or on Saturday.
Tomorrow.
I'll say tomorrow.
Saturday.
I was like, ooh.
Saturday, yeah. So, well, listen, enjoy it, and I shall be as proud as Punch waving you on Saturday. And as I said, look, go out and enjoy it. It's a finished line, not a finished time. Don't stress. If you feel you're under pressure, slow down. If you have to jet, do it. It doesn't matter. It's just crossing that finish line, and whatever time you come in at, it's the same finish line as everybody else is coming over, and you deserve your medal just as much as everybody else does. So forget about the people that are going to run at 1:30 or any of that crap. It doesn't friggin' matter. It's getting over that line, feeling that sense of achievement, which you will the minute you cross it. It's undescribable. You know, and then when come next year, you have to do it double that distance when you're running your first marathon. So.
No.
No more marathons.
I'm excited now. It's going to be great.
It will be great. It will. It
Will
will.
be.
And you've put the
look-
training in, so you've done that bit. That's the hard
Yeah.
bit.
Trust your training.
Well, look,
Yeah.
if there's any questions or you want to ask me anything else, throw it into the Fit for Life group, not the Fit for Life half marathon group because I'm not in that one, just the normal Fit for Life group. And I'm in enough WhatsApp groups for LSA. I'm not, as Ali said, I put you into it. I said, no, thanks. I have enough. So if you have a question for me or anything else that you need to know or something that you want me to carry for you on the day or anything like that, I'm happy for anybody to drop whatever they want in here. I'll take it on the day. It's no problem at all. As I said, my aim is to be at the start line, at the finish line, and somewhere in the middle as well. So I'll definitely be at the finish line anyway, that's for sure. So if there is something you want brought, just drop it to me and I'll bring it for you on the day, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you
No
so
bother.
much.
Thanks
Listen,
a million, Amanda.
Enjoy.
Thanks,
I see you
Amanda.
Saturday,
Appreciate
girls.
it.
Okay.
See you,
Saturday.
Best
Look,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Amanda,
Yeah.
I'll send you on the volunteers, the what you
Do.
call supporters list. Yeah, we'll do that.
It's just to see who's going, Jen. That's all. I know
Exactly.
Finton is driving. I'm going with Finton because we just said last night we'll go together. So that's fine.
Right.
We just he'll dump his car somewhere down a side street. So we
Yeah.
figure out if we can. We're going to try and run, but bear in mind we've got to be wrapped up because we're going to be freezing. So it's how far we can get with big
Right.
LSA and woolly hats and scarves and gloves and all on us.
Yeah.
So the aim is if we set out, just as you go, as the start line goes off, our plan is to run the coast down, and we should be able to make it to where the tree is. You know what I mean by the tree, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
To the tree, because
The
you guys have
sculpted
got to go
tree.
down the wooden bridge. You got to go up to on the beach, and then you've got to come up off the beach up the causeway. We're going absolutely direct, so hopefully we'll make it to that corner
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you before you get there. Yeah,
Oh God,
that's
you
the plan.
will. Yeah, God, you will.
We should.
We're
Depends how fast I can run.
hoping the pace now. There's girls running around 8 minutes per K. I'm hoping to start at 7:15 and work it down to 6:45, if not 6:30.
Fantastic. That's brilliant plan,
Which would
Jen. Yeah.
be hopefully in my head. That's what I'm going to try and do.
Brilliant.
But I'll have a gang at Black Banks as well. My 2 sisters will be there,
Yeah,
possibly
cool.
my dad, and hopefully my gang here. I don't know.
Great.
But Mum and Dad
Great.
only live up the road, so they
Yeah.
can park there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, of
that's
course.
covered if you want to know that they're.
Yeah,
that-
well, I'm going to try get to that corner
Oh, grand. Okay.
at
You
there, and
know
then
Sarah. Sarah will be
Pardon?
there. Sarah will be there.
Sarah.
My sister Sarah. It used to be in
Oh,
the camp.
Sarah, of course,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
of course, yeah. Grant, yeah. Well, we get there, and then we'll try get up to a little bit up the Kilbarrack Road as well, if we can get to that junction as well, and then we come back and get back to the finish line as well for you. That's the plan.
Great. Cool. Listen, thanks for
All right.
that.
Not at all. I hope
Great,
it came across as okay, and I gave them enough information.
Yeah, we're still recording actually.
All right, okay, you better go on. So listen.